Well, good morning, everyone. As you say, as Dr. Nicholson said, my name is Roberto. I'm a first-year student here at College-Kingwood. And my research for this semester is going to be the economics behind the crunch, a two-decade analysis of lettuce price fluctuation. Let me begin with one question for you. Do you remember 2 years ago, during 2022, when the price of gas was so high, and people were so frustrated for how much they have to pay to refill their fuel tank? Well, that frustration is back, but it's not affecting drivers anymore. It's not affecting lettuce consumers. Recent headlines from the news say that the price of lettuce has increased up to 61%, and that every season, farmers are producing less and less lettuce. It can be hard to believe that such a simple item like lettuce can be so expensive, or that the price can increase so much, until we see the data chart. According to the data chart of the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the price of lettuce has continually increased over the past 20 years, especially after the 2020 pandemic. So these facts led me to my research question. That is, what economic factors led to the price fluctuation of lettuce over the past 20 years in the United States? To give you some context of my research, let me begin with my literature review. I analyzed multiple previous scholars that did previous research about the same topic. Let me begin with Bampasito and Salassi. These two researchers investigate the impact of immigration reforms on the agriculture sector in the United States, and they find out that enforcement of strict immigration laws actually harm the agriculture sector in the United States. They also found out that H-2A visa, that I'm going to explain later what that is a really complex procedure that is costing a lot of money to farm owners and is actually bringing less people into the country to work on the fields. The second research I saw was Wu and Wang. They found out something similar, saying that less people coming into the country is harming the industry of farming, but they also found out that the trend of raising minimum wage in a specific states is forcing farm owners to pay more money to the people, and this is producing less and less lettuce every season. And the last one I investigate is Ball, Rogers, and Laytag. These two researchers are actually economists of the United States Department of Agriculture, and they found out that transportation cost is one of the main reasons that is increasing the price of lettuce for producers and for consumers at the time of buying their lettuce and vegetables in general at the time they go to the supermarket. So let's talk about the methodology. The methodology I use is a multivariable linear regression. For those of you who don't know what it is, this is a statistic method that aims to predict the behavior of two variables. In this case, my dependent variables is the lettuce price, and the independent variables are fuel cost, inflation, pesticide costs, labor cost, truck rates, and tomato prices. All of the data obtained to do this research was obtained from the United States Bureau of Labor Statistics. This is a government agency that posts monthly updates about salaries, inflation, and statistic data throughout the year. All the data that I use goes from 2007 to 2024. I made a total of 212 observations. This is basically how much data I received from the BLS. And a limitation I had is that BLS doesn't have the farming labor cost data, and I'm going to explain why this was annoying later. So these are my results. And I'm going to be focusing on transportation costs, inflation, and labor costs. So as you can see, labor costs have a negative coefficient. A negative coefficient basically means that when labor cost increases, the price of lettuce decreases by 9.5%. And I think this is a really bizarre result, considering that the price of labor cost is high and the price of lettuce is actually high. But let me explain why this is happening. As I said before, BLS does not have the labor cost data, mainly because the people who work on farm and illegal migrants who don't report their earnings to the government, and they also work in different states all year long, so they don't remain in the same place. So let me explain each of these results individually. The first one is labor cost. As I said, it has a negative coefficient, and the data is not available for this one specifically. But supported by previous research, is known that the labor cost in America is really high, mainly for three reasons. The first one is strict immigration laws. Since the year 2000 to 2017, the federal government has established multiple immigration laws that had limited the access of people into the country, especially from Mexico and Central America. Migrants from these two regions represent 73% of the entire population of migrant farm labor in the country. So restricting their access through different immigration policies basically means we don't have enough people working on the fields in the United States. The second one is the application for the H-2A visa. This visa is a guest working visa that farm owners can apply to bring workers into the country to work for them up to 10 months. The problem with this is the price and the complexity of the process. It can cost between $10,000 and $15,000 to bring at least 25 workers into the country, and also the complexity of the process requires an immigration attorney that costs a lot of money. And the last reason is the raise of legal minimum wage in states like California and Arizona. Why these two states? California and Arizona are the two main producers of lettuce in the United States. So the state government of these two states recently has raised the legal minimum wage, forcing farm owners to pay more to their workers. But the problem with this is we don't have enough people working, and now we have to pay them more. So this is causing them to produce less lettuce and gain less money. The second factor I want to talk about is transportation costs. Okay, that works now. Transportation costs. The main problem with transportation costs is the distance between farm and the store plus the truck rate. The truck rate is how much money they have to pay for a transportation company to transport products from point A to B, in this case, lettuce. So years ago, transporting lettuce from California to Texas might cost $10,000. Now it can cost up to $25,000. Plus, the gas price has increased drastically over the years. It's an extra cost that needs to be invested from part of the farm owners to try to make a profit out of this. This includes fuel price and truck rates, as I said. And the last one is a really important one, but it's actually the simplest one. We know that the United States inflation have behaved weird in recent years. And the increase of prices the increase of price on energy, raw material, pesticides, labor costs, transportation, all of those things have caused farm owners and investors to make a bigger investment to produce lettuce and vegetables in general to try to make a profit out of that. When farm owners invest more money on producing lettuce, that increases the price of lettuce and force people to pay more money for such a simple item like lettuce. The conclusion of my research is that all of these factors affect the price of lettuce. But in reality, it's affecting the entire agricultural sector, the farming sector, and it's harming the entire population for producers and for consumers. What can be done out of this? I believe that the policymakers should make use of this information to make more flexible policies and procedures. And this is going to allow people to come into the country legally and to have more workers in the country. That's going to lower the price of production and going to lower the price that consumers pay for their groceries. For future research, I think that we should investigate, or I would like to investigate how trade policies on tariff affect the price of vegetables and lettuce because of this problem with inflation and all of these factors in the United States. The United States is actually importing 12 tons of lettuce from Mexico and Central America every month. So I would like to know how tariff, especially with the upcoming government, will affect the price of lettuce and vegetables in general. This is my works cited. Thank you.